I thought I was too smart to fall for it. I gave her everything, my savings, my trust, my future, and she took it all with a smile I'll never forget. Now I'm 62, broke, and living in a country I can't afford to leave. This is how I lost $350,000 to love in Thailand. I'm sitting here, and the quiet tonight is deafening. I can hear the clock ticking, marking every second I've wasted trying to outrun this memory. This isn't the video I planned to make this week. I thought I could keep sharing travel tips and pretending I was fine, but lately, that pretense has become too heavy to lift. I haven't been completely honest with you, and that changes tonight. The truth came spilling out because of an email I got this morning. It was from a viewer named David, who has followed the channel since the very beginning, watching my journey unfold across Asia. David wrote that he was planning his own retirement abroad but felt a growing sense of caution after watching my recent shift in tone. He asked, simply, "What are the real dangers no one talks about?" When I read that question, I felt three distinct things, all crashing together. First, a sudden, blinding fear that I might have led others down the same dangerous path I took. That quickly turned to deep, shaking, regret, knowing the answer David needed was buried right here, inside my own worst mistakes. But finally, a surge of almost defiant, courage, rose up. David's request for the truth wasn't an accusation, it was an appeal for guidance, and I realized my responsibility was greater than my shame. Before I tell you exactly how I lost everything, I need your help to reach anyone else who might be in a vulnerable position. Please hit the like button, right now. Comment below and tell me what the biggest fear you have about retirement is. And please, subscribe to join this community. To every single one of you who shows up and watches, thank you. Your loyal support keeps this channel alive. But, more importantly, it keeps me going. You make sitting here, confessing the deepest, most painful parts of my life, feel worthwhile. Tonight, I'm taking you past the travel brochures and into the dark reality of romantic fraud. Let me take you back to the beginning of the lie. I didn't know her name yet, but she knew mine. That's what got me. I'd been coming to that little cafe in Chiang Mai for almost 3 weeks, ordering the same thing every morning, black coffee and toast, sitting at the same table by the window. The place was small, tucked between a tailor shop and a pharmacy on a side street most tourists never found. I liked it that way. Quiet, simple, no one bothering me. I was still adjusting to the heat, the smells, the constant noise of motorbikes outside. New Jersey felt like another lifetime. 2 divorces, 30 years in a factory, and a retirement account that was supposed to last me forever. Thailand was supposed to be my reset. Cheap living, warm weather, no one asking me why I left or what went wrong. Just peace. That's all I wanted. She was working behind the counter that morning, wiping down tables, her black hair tied back in a ponytail. She smiled at everyone who walked in, but it felt automatic, like she'd done it 1,000 times before. I didn't think much of it. She was just another face in a country full of strangers. But then she brought my coffee over and said, "Good morning, Harland." Same as yesterday? I looked up at her. I hadn't told her my name that day. Maybe the day before, maybe when I first walked in. I couldn't remember. But she did. She remembered. "Yeah," I said, surprised. "Same as yesterday." She smiled again, but this time it felt different. Like she actually saw me. "You like it here?" she asked, setting the cup down. "The cafe?" "Thailand," she said. "You've been here a few weeks now, right? I see you every morning." I nodded. "Yeah, it's nice. Quiet." "Quiet is good," she said. She had a soft voice, careful with her English, but clear. "Most Farang come here for party, drink, nightlife. You're different. I didn't know what to say to that, so I just sipped my coffee. She stood there for a second longer, like she wanted to keep talking, then smiled again and walked back to the counter. That was it. Nothing dramatic, nothing life-changing, just a small conversation. But I kept thinking about it all day, about how she remembered my name, about how she said I was different. It had been a long time since anyone made me feel like I mattered. I came back the next morning, and the morning after that. She was always there, always smiling, always asking me little questions. How do you like Chiang Mai? Where are you staying? Do you have family back home? I started answering, started opening up. I told her I was from New Jersey, that I'd worked in a factory for 30 years, that I was divorced, twice, that my kids didn't really talk to me anymore, that I came to Thailand because I didn't know where else to go. She listened, really listened, not like she was waiting for her turn to talk, but like she actually cared. One morning, she sat down across from me. The cafe was empty except for an old man in the corner reading a newspaper. She had a cup of tea in her hands. I have 2 kids, she said, out of nowhere. A boy and a girl, 10 and 13. I didn't know why she was telling me this, but I nodded. That's nice. Are they in school? Yes, she said. It's hard though. Their fathers don't help. I work here, and I work at a massage place at night. It's not enough. She looked down at her tea. But I keep trying. I want them to have a good life, better than mine. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to ask about the fathers, about why they didn't help, but it felt too personal. So I just said, "You're a good mother." She looked up at me, and her eyes were wet. Not crying, but close. "Thank you," she said. Not many people say that. We sat there in silence for a while. I finished my coffee. She finished her tea. Then she stood up and went back to work. But something changed that day. I started seeing her differently. Not just as the woman who worked at the cafe, but as someone who was trying, someone who was struggling, someone who was alone, just like me. A few days later, I asked her to dinner. I didn't plan it. It just came out. We were standing by the door, and she was about to leave for her other job, and I said, "Do you want to have dinner sometime? With me?" She stopped, looked at me. For a second, I thought she was going to say no, but then she smiled, a real smile, not the automatic one. "Yes," she said, "I'd like that." I felt something I hadn't felt in years, hope, maybe even happiness. I didn't know her well. I didn't know if this was smart, but I didn't care. For the first time since I landed in Thailand, I didn't feel invisible. I felt alive. We met at a small restaurant near the night market 2 days later. She wore a blue dress, simple but nice, and her hair was down for the first time since I'd met her. She looked younger somehow, lighter. I was nervous. I'd been on dates before, obviously. I'd been married twice. But this felt different. I didn't know the rules here. I didn't know what she expected. I didn't even know if this was a date or just 2 lonely people eating together. She ordered for both of us. Pad Thai, som tam, grilled chicken. The food came fast, and we ate slowly, talking between bites. She told me about her kids. Her son loved football. Her daughter wanted to be a teacher. She told me about growing up in a village north of Chiang Mai, about moving to the city when she was 18, about working in a massage parlor to send money home. She didn't say it like she was ashamed. She said it like it was just her life. I told her about New Jersey, about the cold winters, about my ex-wives. The first one left because I worked too much. The second one left because I didn't make enough. I told her about my kids. A son and a daughter, both grown now, both living their own lives. They called on my birthday sometimes not. I told her I was tired of being alone. She reached across the table and touched my hand. "You're not alone now," she said. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. We walked through the night market after dinner, past the stalls selling clothes and jewelry and fried insects. She stopped at a stand selling bracelets and picked one up. a thin silver one with a small charm. "This is beautiful," she said. I bought it for her. It was only 200 baht, maybe $6. She put it on right away and smiled at me like I'd given her the world. We kept walking. She took my arm. It felt natural, easy, like we'd known each other longer than 2 weeks. When I dropped her off at her apartment, she kissed me on the cheek. "Thank you, Harland," she said. "This was the best night I've had in a long time." I drove back to my place in a daze. I couldn't stop smiling. I couldn't stop thinking about her, about the way she looked at me, about the way she said my name. I knew I was falling for her, and I didn't try to stop it. We started seeing each other almost every day after that. She'd come over after her shift at the cafe, or I'd pick her up after her massage work. We'd cook together, watch movies, talk about everything and nothing. She introduced me to her kids. The boy was shy, hid behind his mother when I first met him. The girl was curious, asked me 100 questions about America. I liked them. They were good kids, polite, smart. I started imagining what it would be like to be part of their lives, to help them, to be someone they could count on. One night, about 2 months in, we were at her apartment. The kids were asleep in the other room. We'd just finished eating, and she was washing dishes. I was sitting at her small kitchen table, watching her. She looked tired. She always looked tired. "Harland," she said, not turning around. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course," I said. She turned off the water and dried her hands. Then she came and sat next to me. She looked nervous. "Do you think you'll stay in Thailand?" she asked. "I don't know," I said. "I haven't really thought about it." "Why?" She looked down at her hands. "Because I don't want you to leave." My chest tightened. I didn't know what to say. She looked up at me, and her eyes were full of something I couldn't name. Fear, maybe, hope. "I love you, Harland," she said. I froze. I hadn't expected that. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But there it was. She'd said it, and I felt it hit me like a wave. "I know it's fast," she said quickly. "I know we haven't known each other long, but I feel it. I feel safe with you. I feel happy. I don't want to lose that." I reached over and took her hand. "You won't," I said. "I'm not going anywhere." She leaned forward and kissed me, not on the cheek this time, on the mouth, soft, slow. When she pulled back, she was smiling. "I love you," she said again, and I said it back. "I love you too." We slept together that night. It wasn't rushed or awkward. It felt right, like it was supposed to happen. Afterward, we lay in the dark, her head on my chest, my hand in her hair. I stared at the ceiling and thought about the future, about staying in Thailand, about helping her and her kids, about finally having a family again. I hadn't felt this alive since I was 30, maybe ever. For the first time in years, I had something to wake up for, someone to wake up for, and I wasn't going to let that go. 3 months in, everything changed. Wanlaya called me one afternoon, and I could hear it in her voice before she even said anything. Something was wrong. "Harland," she said, her voice shaking, "can you come over? I need to talk to you." I drove to her place faster than I should have. When I got there, she was sitting on the couch, her face red, her hands trembling. The kids weren't home. She looked up at me, and tears started falling. "What's wrong?" I asked, sitting down next to her. "What happened?" She couldn't speak at first. She just cried. I put my arm around her and waited. Finally, she took a deep breath. "It's my mother," she said. "She's sick, very sick. The hospital says she needs surgery." I felt my stomach drop. "What kind of surgery?" "Her stomach," she said. "They found something, a mass. They need to remove it, but they want money first. 120,000 baht. I don't have it." She looked at me, her eyes desperate. I asked my family. I asked everyone. No one has it. I don't know what to do. 120,000 baht. I did the math in my head. About $3,500. Not a small amount, but not impossible. I had savings. My retirement money was sitting in a U.S. bank, and I'd already moved some to a Thai account. I could help. I wanted to help. But something in the back of my mind whispered, why you? Why not her ex? Why not the fathers of her kids? I pushed it away. How much time do you have? I asked. They want it in 2 days, she said. If we don't pay, they won't do the surgery. She could die, Harland. My mother could die. She grabbed my hand. I'm so sorry. I don't want to ask you. I don't want to be a burden. But I have no one else. I looked at her, at the fear in her eyes, at the tears on her cheeks, and I made my decision. I'll take care of it, I said. Her head snapped up. What? I'll take care of it, I repeated. I'll get the money. Your mother's going to be fine. She threw her arms around me and sobbed into my shoulder. Thank you, she said, over and over. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I held her and told her it was okay, that everything was going to be okay. The next morning, I went to the bank and transferred the money. I gave it to Wanlaya that afternoon. She cried again when I handed her the envelope. She kissed me. She told me I was saving her mother's life. She told me she'd never forget this. Her family called me later that night. Her sister, her brother, people I'd never met. They thanked me. They called me a hero. They said I was part of the family now. I felt good. I felt needed. I felt like I'd done the right thing. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the money, about how quickly she'd gotten it from me, about how she'd said she had no one else. And I wondered, just for a second, if that was true. I didn't know her ex-husbands. I didn't know her family's financial situation. I didn't know anything, really. I just knew that I'd given her $3,500, and I hadn't asked for proof. No hospital bill, no paperwork, just her word. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself love meant trust. I told myself I was overthinking it. But deep down, a small voice asked, what if? I ignored it. I had to. Because if I didn't, everything I felt, everything I believed, would start to crack, and I wasn't ready for that. A month later, she started talking about a house. We were at her apartment, the kids were watching TV, and she was showing me pictures on her phone. A small plot of land outside the city, surrounded by rice fields, quiet and green. It's perfect, she said, swiping through the photos. We could build something small, just for us, for the kids, somewhere peaceful. I looked at the pictures. It did look nice, peaceful, but I didn't say anything. I've been thinking about it a lot, she continued. Rent here is so expensive, and the landlord keeps raising the price. If we had our own place, we could save money. We could build a life together. She looked at me. What do you think? I didn't know what to think. I'd already given her money for her mother. I was paying for dinners, for the kids' school supplies, for little things here and there. It added up. And now she was talking about buying land. How much? I asked. The land is only 2 million baht, she said. That's about $60,000. And we can build a small house for another 25,000. It's cheap, Harland. Much cheaper than rent. $85,000. That was a lot. That was a big chunk of my retirement. I don't know, I said. That's a lot of money. Her face fell. I know, she said quietly. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked. It's too much. She put her phone down and looked away. I felt guilty immediately. It's not that I don't want to, I said. It's just that it's a big decision. I need to think about it. She nodded, but she didn't look at me. The rest of the night was quiet, awkward. She barely spoke. When I left, she kissed me on the cheek, but it felt cold. Over the next few days, she brought it up again and again. Not pushy, but persistent. She'd show me more pictures. She'd talk about how much the kids would love it. She'd remind me how much I said I loved her, how much I said I wanted a future. And every time, I felt the pressure building. I felt the guilt. I felt like I was letting her down. One night, I was lying in my rented room, staring at the ceiling, and I thought about what my life would look like if I said no. Would she leave me? Would she think I didn't care? Would I lose the one good thing I'd found in Thailand? I didn't want that. I couldn't lose her. So I made the call. I contacted my bank in the U.S. and transferred $85,000 to my Thai account. Then I told Wanlaya. She cried. She hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. She told me I was changing her life, that I was giving her and her kids a future. She introduced me to a lawyer, a Thai man, mid-40s, polite and professional. He spoke decent English. He explained that foreigners can't own land in Thailand, but I could be listed as a stakeholder. The land would be in Wanlaya's name, but I'd be protected legally. It's very common, he said. Many Farang do this. You'll be safe. I nodded. I didn't really understand, but I trusted Wanlaya, and she trusted him. The paperwork was all in Thai, pages and pages of it. I sat at a table in the lawyer's office, and he pointed to where I needed to sign. Here, he said, and here, and here. I signed, over and over. I didn't read any of it. I couldn't. It was all in a language I didn't understand. Wanlaya sat next to me, smiling, holding my hand. When it was done, the lawyer shook my hand. Congratulations, he said. You're a landowner now. I smiled. But when I got home that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about those signatures, about the fact that the land was in her name, about the fact that I didn't really understand what I'd signed. I told myself it was fine. I told myself this was normal. This was love. But the voice in the back of my head was getting louder, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I hadn't seen Wanlaya in 3 days. She texted me on Monday saying she had to go to Bangkok. Her sister was having problems, and she needed to help. I said okay. I told her to be safe. She said she'd call me every night. She didn't. The first night, her phone rang and rang, then went to voicemail. The second night, same thing. The third night, I started to panic. I texted her, "Are you okay? I'm worried." No response. I called again. Nothing. I told myself she was busy. Maybe her phone died. Maybe she was dealing with family drama and didn't have time. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. On the fourth day, I drove to her apartment. I needed to see if she was there. Maybe she'd come back and just hadn't told me. Maybe she'd lost her phone. I parked outside her building and walked up the stairs. But before I could knock, a voice stopped me. "Excuse me." I turned. An older Thai woman was standing in the doorway across the hall. I'd seen her before. She lived next to Wanlaya. "Yes?" I said. She looked uncomfortable. She spoke slowly, carefully. "You Harland?" "Yeah," I said. "Do you know where Wanlaya is?" She hesitated. Then she said, "She's not in Bangkok." My heart sank. "What do you mean?" "She's here," the woman said. "She's been here. With a man." I felt like the ground had just dropped out from under me. "What man?" She looked away. "Young man. Thai man. He comes a lot. For weeks now." I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I just stood there, staring at her. "I'm sorry," she said. "I thought you should know." I turned and walked back down the stairs. I didn't know what to do. I sat in my car and waited. 2 hours. My hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. And then I saw them. Wanlaya and a man I'd never seen before. He was young, maybe 30, tall, fit. They were walking up to her building, laughing, holding hands. I got out of the car. She saw me immediately. Her face went white. The man looked at me, then at her, then just walked away. Didn't say a word. Just left. "Harland," she said, her voice shaking. "What are you doing here?" "Who is he?" I asked. My voice was calm. Too calm. She didn't answer. "Who is he?" I repeated. It's not what you think, she said. Then what is it? She looked down. He's just a friend, someone I knew before. He's been helping me with some things. Helping you with what? I asked. And why did you lie? You said you were in Bangkok. She started crying. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want you to think it was something it's not. Is it? I asked. Is it something? She didn't answer right away. Then she looked up at me, and her face was hard, cold. You don't understand, she said. You're a good man, Harland. You help me. You help my kids. But you're not Thai. You don't understand my life, my language, my culture. I needed someone who does. I just stared at her. He doesn't have money, she continued. He can't help me the way you can, but he understands me. You don't. I felt something inside me break. Not anger, not even sadness, just emptiness. You used me, I said. No, she said quickly. I care about you. I do. But I can't be with just you. I need both. I laughed. It wasn't a real laugh. It was bitter, hollow. Both, I repeated. Yeah, she said. Why not? You take care of me. He makes me happy. It works. I turned and walked back to my car. She called after me. Harland, wait, please. I didn't stop. I got in my car and drove away. I didn't look back. I went back to my rented room and sat in the dark. I didn't turn on the lights. I didn't eat. I just sat there, replaying everything in my head. Her face when I caught her, her words. You don't understand my life. He makes me happy. It works. I opened my laptop and logged into my bank account. I stared at the numbers. Then I started adding. The surgery for her mother, $3,500. The land and the house, $85,000. The motorbike I bought her so she didn't have to take a taxi to work, $4,000. School fees for her kids, another $3,000. The jewelry, the clothes, the phone I bought her when hers broke, the trips to the beach, the dinners, the rent I'd paid when she said the landlord was threatening to kick her out. I kept adding and adding. $352,000. Gone. I checked my current balance. $11,000. That's all I had left. $11,000. I was 62 years old. I'd worked for 30 years. I'd saved every dollar I could, and now I was broke, living in a foreign country, with no plan, no safety net, no way out. I thought about calling my ex-wife, but what would I say? That I'd blown my retirement on a woman I'd known for 6 months? That I'd believed every word she said? That I was too stupid to see what everyone else would have seen? I thought about calling my kids, but they'd stopped calling me years ago. They had their own lives, their own problems. They didn't need to hear about mine. I thought about going home, back to New Jersey. But what was there? An empty apartment, a cold winter, a life I'd already given up on. I felt trapped, stuck. I'd given everything to someone who didn't love me, someone who used me. And the worst part? I'd let it happen. I'd ignored every red flag, every warning sign. I'd wanted so badly to believe that someone could love me that I'd let myself be blind. I sat there until the sun came up, and I realized something. I didn't lose $350,000. I lost my future, and I had no one to blame but myself. A week later, I texted her. I don't know why. Maybe I needed closure. Maybe I just needed to hear her say it one more time. Can we talk? I wrote. She responded an hour later. Okay. Where? The cafe, I said. Where we met, she agreed. We met the next morning. She was already there when I arrived, sitting at a table in the back. She looked different, colder, distant. Like the woman I'd fallen in love with had been a mask, and now the mask was off. I sat down across from her. For a minute, neither of us said anything. Then I asked, was any of it real? She looked at me. What do you mean? You know what I mean, I said. Did you ever love me? Or was it all just a game? She didn't answer right away. She just stared at her hands. Then she said, "You were kind. You helped me. I'm grateful." I felt my chest tighten. "Grateful," I repeated. "Not love. Gratitude." She looked up at me. "What do you want me to say, Harland? That I loved you? That I wanted to spend my life with you?" "I want you to tell me the truth," I said. She sighed. "The truth is, I cared about you. I did, but I had to survive. I have 2 kids. I have no money. You had money. You were willing to help, so I let you." I felt numb. "And the house?" I asked. "The land? It's mine," she said. "Legally, you signed the papers. And my money?" She shrugged. "You gave it freely. I didn't force you." She was right. I couldn't argue. I had given it freely. I'd signed the papers. I'd believed her. "Did you ever love me?" I asked again. She looked me in the eye. "I cared about you, but I had to survive. You understand, right?" I didn't answer. She stood up. "I have to go," she said. "Thank you for everything, Harland. I mean that." And then she walked away. I sat there for a long time, staring at my empty coffee cup, watching people come and go. And I realized something. She didn't feel guilty. She didn't feel bad. To her, this was just business. I was just another Farang who fell for the wrong woman. And maybe she was right. Maybe that's all I was. I'm still in Thailand. I can't afford to leave. I moved to a cheaper room on the other side of the city. It's small, 1 window, a fan that barely works. But it's all I can afford now. I eat street food. 30 baht for pad thai. 20 baht for fried rice. I've learned where the cheapest places are. I walk everywhere now. Sold the car. Needed the money. I don't talk to anyone. I tried once. Went to a bar where expats hang out. Thought maybe I'd meet someone who understood. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't tell my story. I couldn't admit what I'd done. So I just sat there, drank 1 beer, and left. I see them sometimes. Couples. Old Farangs with young Thai women. Holding hands. Smiling. And I wonder if they know. If they see what I didn't. Or if they're just like me. Believing. Hoping. Ignoring the signs because they don't want to be alone. Sometimes I think about going home. But what's there? An empty apartment in New Jersey? Winter? My kids who don't call? At least here, I'm invisible. At least here, no one knows what I lost. No one knows how stupid I was. I think about Wanlaya sometimes. I wonder if she thinks about me. I wonder if she feels anything. Guilt, regret, anything. Probably not. I was just a transaction, a means to an end. And I let myself be that. I'm not the same man I was a year ago. I don't know if I'm better or worse. I just know I'm awake now. I see things clearly. The smiles that are too quick. The stories that are too perfect. The love that comes too fast. I see it all now. And that's the part that hurts the most. Not the money, not the betrayal, but the fact that I was so desperate to feel something, to matter to someone, that I ignored every warning. I gave everything to someone who saw me as nothing more than a wallet, and now I have nothing left. No money, no future, no way out, just me, in a small room in a country that's not mine, eating cheap food, walking empty streets, watching other men make the same mistakes I made, and wondering if they'll end up like me, broke, alone, awake. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if I'll ever leave Thailand. I don't know if I'll ever go home. I just know that I'm here, and I'm alive. Barely, but alive. And maybe that's enough. Or maybe it's not. I don't know anymore. I just know this. If you're reading this, if you're thinking about doing what I did, if you're lonely and desperate and someone's telling you exactly what you want to hear, stop. Just stop. Because I promise you, it's not real. It's never real. And by the time you figure that out, it'll be too late, just like it was for me.